The Riverside Unified School District said, and I quote, "These behaviors are completely unacceptable and an offensive depiction of the vast and expansive Native American cultures and practices."
The teacher was then placed on leave while the incident is investigated. Wadi, is placing her on leave the appropriate action the school district should have taken?
I think it's a first step, and I say first step because I believe they actually probably need to go a little bit deeper. I mean, if you watch this video, this wasn't a slip of the words. She didn't accidentally do a quick dance. I mean, she had an entire costume. She had a routine. There was a point where she was on top of a desk in the back of the classroom. If I'm not mistaken, at the end of the video, she finishes doing sort of a prayer on top of her desk. I mean, this was something thought out. This wasn't some mistake, something that at the moment she miscalculated. I think there really needs to be a look at this teacher, look at what was her thinking behind this, and I think a serious action needs to be taken. I think it can't just be a temporary leave. It has to be something a little bit more long-term, possibly even exploring if she's the right fit for this position.
Right. This was totally a production on her part, honestly. JP, what do you think about the video?
There's so many other ways to teach math to your students. Not only was this culturally insensitive, just absolutely you could tell that she definitely was not educated on the level of how insensitive this could be for students in her classroom. In fact, the video was sent to an adult by a Native American student. Just a complete lack of awareness. Cosine, tangent, trigonometry is difficult, but there are other ways to teach. I mean, I don't know if it's different, but in my school, we used to say SohCahToa. Instead of using it in an Indian tribal sense, we would say SohCahToa to remember it. I don't know, maybe that was just my school, but that's how we remembered in my classroom.
Right, and there's totally different ways to teach the SohCahToa phrase. Being respectful to the Native American culture, you know what I mean? And this video obviously has sparked a lot of backlash on social media. Do you think, JP, that there needs to be a cultural competency training for teachers nowadays?
I think so. I think there's a very, very hard line to draw when it comes to this, though, is because how extensive do you get? But I can tell you from my own personal experience with some teachers, even recently in law school, that definitely don't take into account the different cultures or different backgrounds within a classroom when they speak on an issue. That can make someone feel very uncomfortable, that can make someone feel like they're less than, or make direct comments saying it to the classroom, but everyone knowing that that teacher is talking about a specific student. So will that be something that solves the situation? No, there's always going to be a teacher who's uneducated on the subject, but hopefully it prevents this from happening. If you slide right on that social media post that everyone saw on Instagram, that last 30 seconds, the lady looked a little range and definitely not all there. So not the smartest thing to do, but I guarantee you it's not the only time something like this is happening in our school systems all across America.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think there should be a cultural competency training. I still remember being in school and teachers calling me, you know, saying like, "Hey, where's your llama? Because you're Peruvian." And I just kind of thought that was odd. I didn't like make a big deal or anything out of it, but I did think that that was a weird comment in a sense, obviously. But yeah, what about you, Wadi? What do you think? Should there be some cultural competency training?
Yeah, I favor training. I say why not, but I will be honest. I'm afraid of what that training might look like. I do feel like we are living in a little bit of this like woke society, right? Where I mean, like there's this level of sensitivity that sometimes, I mean, it's like you're training folks to go to an extreme, right? And I think that's where the problem is, the extremes. What this lady did was an extreme. It was inappropriate. And I think if we bring in a training that's also an extreme to the complete other side, then it's also creating, I think, an imbalance. So yes, I'm in favor of training, and I would hope that would be one where, you know, it would just allow folks to better know who we are, because we're all different. You know, even within
Right,
this group, right? We're Latinos, but we're also different, and possibly have different
right.
upbringings and different parts of the countries that we're in. So that's my only take on it. Like, I'm for it, but let's make sure it's the right way.
Right, a well-balanced training. We are all human after all, and we are going to mess up.
Absolutely, yeah. We have to keep an eye on what happens, specifically with in this school district, but other school districts as well.
Hey, we want you to know that your opinion is heard, and we want you to be a part of our Latino thought leaders community. It's pretty simple. You can leave a comment, give us a thumbs up, and subscribe by hitting the bell to receive notifications of our newest content. In the next few days, we're going to be sharing more content like this and like this.